Lori here. I'm back. Sorry for my hoarse voice. I had a bit of a rough week with my voice. The past couple of weeks, I have really not been teaching. We've been doing a really big group project, and because of that, I haven't been vocally projecting my voice. And then the last week or 2 weeks, we've been doing a lot of group projects, and I had to raise my voice to be heard, and it just did not work. Some teachers have a very good voice that they can yell with. Some teachers do not. I am in the latter, unfortunately, so my voice is a little bit hoarse, and I'm going to try to wait until like Monday night to film my wrap up, maybe Sunday, but I'm definitely going to take it easy this weekend. And because of that, I am going to tackle 2 books, depending on what I'm watching as background noise. I am currently about 200 pages into Hollowpox, The Hunt for Morgan Crow. I did read this during most of my commutes in the morning, which was not the plan. I really thought I was going to finish this book this week, but then Way of King's Curve took over, and I really am liking this book. But this book is the 3rd book in the Morgan Crow series. It follows, it's the 3rd book. So there is a mystery. There is the war animals in this book. There's an illness that's affecting them. I really am liking this. I'm liking this book quite a bit more than the 2nd book in the series. And I have made a significant amount of progress on Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. I'm 224 pages in. I'm only reading part 1 because this book is 1,000 pages and I think I need to break it up. But really enjoying this. I read the first 100 pages. I think I got to 190 the first time I read it, and I just was not captured. But now I'm intrigued on all fronts. So I don't know what I'm going to do tonight. I don't know if I'm going to read. I don't know if I'm going to watch something. I don't know. But I do know this weekend what I'm going to do is when I'm watching YouTube videos, I'm going to read this. And when I'm watching TV shows that have commercial breaks, I am going to read this. So that is the plan. I'm going to go figure out what I want to do tonight. I may finally watch for the 2nd time No Way Home, which I loved. So we will see. But it's going to be a relaxing weekend. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, friends. Sorry, here. I'm back. I'm feeling a little bit better with my voice. I can actually talk, which is super nice. Last night I got a little bit down a rabbit hole, and I wound up watching some true crime documentaries. I just finished watching the Turpin documentary again. Very interesting. Very devastating. I hope they're getting the help that they need and they are living a happy life. I also went for a bike ride. I went to yoga. I'm significantly into In Bed with the Devil by Lorraine Heath. I definitely will finish that either today or tomorrow. Really liking that. As the book goes on, I think I'm liking it a little bit more. The first hour, I felt a little bit confused, but I do really like it. So, I also got up to page 277 in Hollowpox, The Hunt for Morgan Crow. Really am liking this one. There is a pandemic-like element affecting a certain half of the population. Also, Morgan is learning more about what it means to be a wondersmith, which was a concept that was introduced in book 2. She's getting a little bit obsessed, I will say that, but it's really interesting. I'm going to keep reading. I'm going to put on my YouTube videos, which I haven't watched in 2 weeks. Trying to get better at that. I have been doing really good, but I was really distracted last weekend. So I'm going to go read this, and I will update you guys when I get up to page maybe 230, and we'll see how I'm feeling. But my goal is to finish this book this weekend. Bye, friends. So I'm going to do a quick update. I did wind up getting up to page 331, which is the autumn term of this book. Really quite liking this book quite a bit. I think I'm enjoying this book a lot more than I did book 2. Book 2 is a bit of a struggle read for me when I read it about a year ago. But I'm really liking this. Maybe it's because it's the mystery. Maybe it's because the element of the story is a pandemic element that deals with a certain sect of the population. Maybe it's because it does deal with that element to the story. They are dealing a lot with the were animals in this book as well, which is a group of people that I really am enjoying. I also really do like Morgan's projection in the stories. It is very class focused, which I like in my books about magic. I like books in magic school where you actually learn like what they're learning. That's really interesting to me as a reader. So really liking it so far. I am about 50% in, which is pretty good. So I think I'm going to try to get up to page like 400, and then I think I'm going to go for a walk because it's still a nice day, and or actually it's becoming nicer, and I want to force myself to do more stuff outside as soon as I can. So, and I also do want to finish my audiobooks. Maybe I'll do that, but I want to at least get to page 400, and then I'll check in with you guys again, and then I'll probably go for a walk. Bye, friends. I do a quick check-in. It's about 2 o'clock. I did wind up reading up to page 371, so I'm up to chapter 28, which means I'm making some steadily progress. This book does remind me a lot of the elements that I loved in Supergirl, like with all of the different creatures and how they are represented in society. It was also very prevalent in the Gifted series that I watched a couple of years ago during the pandemic. I binge watched that. Very, very prevalent, but I'm liking it. I also think it's really interesting because the characters that they're like having this holopox is basically an illness that is affecting these war animals, is making them more animalistic. So I think that's a very interesting plot point. You also do have Morgan as she's sort of uncovering what it means to be a wondersmith. I'm really, really liking this book. So I think I'm going to take a break and I'm going to go for a walk because it's not too nice, but it's also not too cold, and I'm trying to keep my steps up, and I do want to make some more progress. Sorry, you can see my hand. On my In Bed with the Devil book by Lorraine Heath. So I'm going to go for a walk, take a little bit of a break, and I will talk to you when I'm back and how much progress I want up making. But 371 pages, and I have to get up to page 500. I'm reading it pretty quickly. I did delete some of the videos from my YouTube queue just because some are books I've already read. Some are videos I don't really want to watch. So I only have 26 videos left. So I'm really excited to make my way through those today, finish this, and choose my next read. So I'll talk to you guys when I'm back. Bye, friends. I just came back from a walk. I was able to finish, I don't know the name of the book, my audiobook, which was Between Devil and Desire. Oh my goodness, now I have to look it up. All the titles in that series are like super similar. The Devil and Desire? No, I think that's the next one. What's the name of it? In Bed with the Devil by Lorraine Heath. I really, at the end, love that book. Like, I think it's probably going to be like a 5-star read for me. Maybe 4.755, 5 stars, but I really, really like that. I'll talk about that more in my wrap-up because I didn't really talk about it in this reading vlog a lot this summer or anything, but I really enjoyed it. I don't know what audiobook I'm going to read next. I'm either going to read the second book in that series or Lady Isabella's Scandalous Marriage, which I started both those series this month, so whatever one kind of piques my interest a little bit more. But okay, I'm going to go back and read Holopox. I still am on the same page, 371. I have some water, so to keep myself hydrated, and I'm going to go read, watch some booktube videos, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Bye, friends. It's almost 5 o'clock. I did wind up getting up to page 400 in my book. This book is reminding me a lot of the Keeper of the Lost City series, and that is just because Morgan and Soapy remind me a lot of each other, and I love the Keeper series, and I'm hoping this series will become like that for me, where I like love all the characters. The one highlight that Keeper has that this book doesn't have right now, it has a really, really big cast of characters, and you feel like super invested in all the characters. So what I think I might do before Silver Swift comes out, I think I might try to reread book 1 and book 2 and maybe listen to them, because I feel like I'm forgetting who these characters are a little bit, like the side characters, and that is half of the highlight that I love in that other series, Keeper, because you really love all those characters. But I really am liking this book quite a bit. I think it's great. I think it's definitely a step up from book 2. Maybe it was book 2 syndrome. But I am going to go just like, relax a little bit. And when I will come back, read a little bit more, watch a little more YouTube. And I will come back to you when I get to page 400, 450, when I read about 50 more pages. And we'll touch base. But so far, definitely a stronger read. And I'm really, really liking it. So Bye, friends. Here, I'm back. It is about 6:15. I did wind up getting up to page 450 in Holopox. I'm really curious to see how this story is going to end. There's like a lot of plot points that are sort of being introduced, and it's a very, very complicated story. I'm really liking it though. It definitely is one that is a little bit more political, I will say that. And I think, especially like in the world we're living in, I think having kids read about a political system and realize the role of a president, the role of a leader, why it's complicated and why like they don't get to do everything that they want is just interesting. But I'm really liking it. It's definitely a step up from book 2, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm curious to see how the mystery winds out. I will say it is very reminiscent to me of a pandemic, so if you are mindful of that, maybe be mindful of that. It's not really a pandemic, but it does remind me of the elements of a pandemic, I will say that. So I'm gonna keep reading. When I get up to page 500, I'll give you guys another update. I also have made my way through my YouTube queue. I sort of deleted a lot of the videos as I was like going through it. Just I didn't think I was gonna watch them or enjoy them. But I have 20 left, which I mostly got rid of the ones that were about readathons that I don't think I'm going to participate in. It's Veda in April, and I never do April Veda because I teach, and it's just a crazy time. So, but I also deleted a couple of videos that just were longer that I've seen already. So, but I'm going to go read about 50 more pages, and then I'll give you guys another check-in. We are heading to the end of this story, and I'm really excited to see how it winds up. So, talk to you guys in a bit. Bye, friends. Just want to do a quick update. I did wind up reading to page 500 in Holopox, The Hunt for Morgan Crow. Really enjoying it. And just because I'm nosy, I looked it up. This book did come out in 2020, so I don't think Jessica Townsend was inspired by the pandemic, but it does have a lot of pandemic themes to it, so keep that in mind. But I'm really this book again is a book that's sort of like Keeper, like you don't really know where the plot's going, but you're just like here for the ride. I'm really, really loving it. So I think this is probably going to be a 5-star read for me. I'm really enjoying it. Solid, solid read. I'm going to go read the last 60 pages, and then I'll give you guys another, like, complete update, and then I'm going to figure out what I want to read next. I should probably look at my official TBR because I feel like I haven't read anything for it. So, yeah. I should probably do that when I'm done with this, and then we'll touch base. But about 43 pages left. So I'm going to go finish the rest of this, and then we'll touch base. Bye, friends. Give a quick update. I went up finishing Holopox, The Hunt for Morgan Crow. I really like this book. Definitely more than the second book in the series. I can give this to my student as well because he's been asking for it, which I'm really excited for. But I really like this. The ending sort of went the way I thought, but I'm really excited to see what the fourth book is in this series. I think this book also did have a lot of political elements. It also talked a lot about political structure, the role of a president. It was very, very interesting, very, very political, very much more school-based, and I really like the way that Jessica Townsend does the magical school. I'm hoping in future books we get more about her friends. That was the only thing that would have made this book a little bit stronger, but other than that, really, really good. She was also very isolated in this book, which I think was sort of the point for most of it. So I think that's why we didn't get a lot more of her friends, but it was very good. Definitely going to be a 5-star read for me. Perfect for middle grade March, which is the only, actually no, I've read a couple. I've read this one, I've read Amberly and the Secret Fairy Warriors, and I also read Jordy and Joey Fall from the Sky. So I actually read 3 in a month, which is actually not that bad. So I'm going to go look at my bullet journal. I'm worried because I haven't looked at it in a while, and I don't know what I've read for my TBR, and then I'm going to pick a TBR book. I am also still reading Way of Kings, but I think I'm going to save that for my commute because it's just a little bit easier to read on a commute. So I'm going to go figure out what I'm going to read next, check in with you guys about it, and maybe I'll start it tonight, maybe I'll start it tomorrow, we'll see. But I'll talk to you guys when I make that decision. Bye, friends. I'm going to choose because I am going to read Way of Kings like tomorrow, during my work week, so I want to pick up like something that's a little bit later. I'm going to pick up Love Boat Taipei by Abigail Hang Wen. I've heard really good things about this. I've had this since 2020 during the pandemic because I got this at ALA the last time I went. So, and this is a friend rec for me, so it does fulfill one of my challenges. I also have heard really good things about it. So, this takes place. She's got China. I think this place. It takes place in Taipei. So yeah, I'm really excited for this one. So yeah, I'm gonna start this. I might start it now. I might start it in the morning. I don't know, but this has been on my TBR for like a while, so I am gonna start this. It's supposed to be like a love. It's supposed to have like Crazy Rich Asian vibes, which I did really, really love. Perfect for fans of Jen and Jenny Han and Sarah Dustin. And Wait for Her Parents for the first time. Ever Wong is about to have a summer she'll never forget. There is this companion book, so if I like this, I'll probably wind up picking that one up. And I've had it on my TBR for a while, so I'm going to start this one. And I'll check in with you guys either tonight or tomorrow, just depending on how much reading I get done. Bye. Here, I'm barely just woke up in the morning, but I have to film a video because if I don't film it, I won't be able to go up this week, and I would like that to happen. So, last night I barely started Love Boat Taipei by Abigail Hang Wen. Good news, I really do like it right off the bat. But you follow this girl named Ever, and she is in the middle of the college process. She's got accepted to one college that her parents are very adamant that she do. She's on the doctor track. I don't think that's her passion. She really likes dance, and she's applied to go to Tisch School for Dancing and recently got off the wait list. Little does she know, her parents are sending her to Love Boat, which is like a cultural enrichment program to learn more Chinese. However, that is not what Love Boat Taipei actually is, and she is in for a very, very rude awakening. But her parents are very almost forcing her to do this doctor path. So I do have to go film a video. Hopefully it won't take me too long to wrap up. So those I tend to talk a lot, and I have to rest my voice. So I'm going to go do that. I'm going to go film that. And then we'll chat about what the plans are for today. Sorry, I'm playing with my hair. I just brushed it. But I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. Lori here. I'm back. I have very, very cold cheeks. It's actually not that cold, but my cheeks just look super red. But I didn't end up getting home. I ran up to town 2 different times. In that process, I have made a significant amount of progress on Lady Isabella's Scandalous Marriage by Jennifer Ashley. Really, I'm liking that book. It's the second book in the series. It follows Isabella and Mac. It's like a marriage in trouble. They're like separated after something that happened in the past. Mac is a painter, and he's trying frantically to woo Isabella back. And Isabella has a lot of, not trauma, but a lot of stuff has happened in her marriage, and she's sort of dealing with it. So they're separated. You do get to see the characters Ian and Beth from the first book, which I'm also really, really enjoying. But because spring has officially sprung, I am going to take a little bit of time or get ready for the week, and then like actually get ready for spring reading wise, like reorganize my bookshelves a little bit. So I do this every single season. I do like a seasonal TBR and stuff. I have failed in most of my seasonal TBRs. So my goal is to just make it a little bit easier for me and to choose books that I really do want to read. So yeah, so that's my plan. I'm going to go do that. I'm also going to use my audiobook as sort of like a resource, just to sort of listening as I'm doing that. I want to prep this week, make my habit trackers, organize my shelves, maybe look at my drawers as well, because there's a lot of clothes in them that like need to get organized and searched through, but that might not happen today. But yeah, I still have not, I'm only on page 34 in Love Boat Taipei. It is a really, really quick read, I will say that, when I actually like sit down and read it. But yeah, so that's really my plan. I'm gonna sort of organize that, redo my bookshelves a little bit, and just sort of figure out what I really want to read. I want to do 5 physical books, I think, and like 5 non-physical books. I think that will help me a little bit as well. So that's my thought. I'm going to do 5 physical books on my actual my planner TBR, and then a couple of others to fill up my shelves, because that's my move. But hopefully that will make it a little bit easier, because I really always fail. I fail on my seasonal TBRs. I just do. So I'm going to go do that, and I'll talk to you guys when I'm ready to start reading Love Boat Taipei. Bye, friends. Just want to do a quick check-in. It is almost 1:30. I did wind up organizing my spring TBR. I haven't chosen the 5 books I'm going to read and all that stuff yet, but at least I've organized my shelves. I also looked at my TBR game, which I'm not doing that great in. So I'm going to try to make some progress on Love Boat Taipei. I'm only on page 34. She has just arrived in Taipei, so that's the extent of it. But I like that we have another lead that's into the arts. It's been a bit since I've read books. There was like a stretch of time where I was reading them like constantly. So it's nice to have a character that's a dancer again, because I really do like those books. I'm gonna go read this. I have a couple of books on, a couple of videos I want to watch as background noise. So I'm gonna go read this and I'll update you guys when I get up to page 50 and we'll check in then. Bye, friends. And today that I went up going for a bike ride. I also I have about like 2-ish hours left of Lady Isabella's Scandalous Marriage. Really, I'm liking that book quite a bit. It has a trope that I really like that's in it, so I'm liking that. I also read about the first 60 pages in Love Boat Taipei. I am liking this book quite a bit. It's very, very enjoyable. It feels like just like a summer read. You basically follow this girl named Ever, and she is on the path to be a doctor. It reminds me a lot of the premise of American Panda, because that young girl was also like very much in a very, very driven household. Her parents are obsessed with her being a doctor, and her parents have decided she's going to go to Love Boat Taipei for the summer, and basically have not told her. And she's a dancer, and she gets there and she basically sets a list of things that she's going to do. There is apparently limited supervision, so it's very much romance focused. I'm excited. I think it's very, very interesting, and it's just like a quicker read, but I'm definitely going to read when I get about up page 100. I'll give you guys another check-in, but so far I'm enjoying it. I think her writing style is like a little bit choppier, but again, this is an arc, so it is entirely possible that this book was changed like dramatically, but so far the writing is a little bit choppy to me, but that might just be because this is an arc that came out in 2019, probably. It was probably published, so I'm going to forgive that and keep reading, and I will give you an update when I read about 100 pages. Perfect. I just want to do a little bit of a reading update. I did wind up getting up to page 100 in Love Boat Taipei. Now I feel like I could talk about this book a little bit more, but so first of all, it follows a character named Ever, and she is a dancer. She loves to dance, but her family, being Chinese American, Taiwanese American, don't think that's a good career path, and they're very much forcing her to be a doctor. She got into a very, very prestigious school, but she really wants to go to Tisch NYU to be a dancer, and her parents are adamant that that's not going to happen. Before this book happens, she gets accepted into Tisch, and that's sort of where you start this book. But her parents sent her to Love Boat, which they think is a cultural enrichment program. That's really not what it is. It's more of just people sort of like having a summer free before they go to college. They are very much dealing with the expectations of their parents. I will say we only met her parents for like 20 pages, but the parents reminded me a little bit of the parents from American Panda, who I strongly disliked. I like these parents a little bit more, but they're very protective. And when she gets there, she meets up with a girl named Sophie. She's also dealing with some boy drama back at home. Her best friend sort of took her boyfriend in a sense. That's sort of like mean, but I think it was done in a way that like Ever's not too upset about it. But so she winds up crossing paths. This is like just such a YA book. She winds up crossing paths with the young man that her dad and parents have been like telling her is like on a pedestal. Like he's been in the Chinese newspaper, all of his accomplishments. She winds up crossing paths with him. His name is Rick, and Rick's cousin Sophie. So they wind up like being her friends, and then there's another boy in this book called Xavier. So I honestly have no idea if it's going to be like love to hate or not, because it's not that clear in the summary, which I'm okay with. I don't know if it's going to turn into a love triangle, but I know that she's feeling very disconnected from her Chinese culture. She can't even really speak Chinese, and that's been a hindrance for her in a lot of ways. So I'm really curious where this book is going. I'm only about 100 pages in, but I'm liking it. It's giving me summer vibe, which is exactly what I wanted. It will be a nice balance when I'm also reading Way of Kings tomorrow. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do for my reading vlog tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to like I don't know. I want to come up with a concept for my reading vlogs, and I never really have done that. So that might be a plan for tomorrow. We will see. But I am going to go read a little bit more of this and sort of figure out what I want to read next week. If I want to continue with this or if I want to read Way of Kings next week. I don't know. But we are going to figure it out. So I'm going to go read a little bit more of this when I get to page 150. I'll give you guys an update. Bye, friends. Just want to do a quick update. Probably my last update for the night. I did wind up getting up to page 150 in Love Boat Taipei. I will say I do really like Ever as a main character. Her best friend in this part of the story I am struggling a little bit with, but I do know that she gets her own book. Love Boat Reunion is her book. I still don't know I feel like I know who the love interest is in this book, but there is enough like gray area where it could be Xavier. It also could be Rick, who I think it is. But again, you're probably watching this reading and be like, obviously it's this person, but sometimes love triangles confuse me, and I don't always love love triangles because I always fall for the wrong character in the love triangle and they never get chosen. But I think her writing style is getting a little better. I think the first like 20 pages, 30 pages was a little bit clunky. But again, I am saying I am reading an arc, so it's possible that the edits have changed and it's not as clunky in the first like 20 pages. I know people get rid of their arcs. They don't read them when the books have come out, but I just save them because that's how I get my reads, especially from Con Life. I got this from 2020. So 2 years ago. It's possible that the book has changed, but the editing in like the first 20 pages, which I expect an arc, was a little bit clunky. But I really do like it. They have some moments in this story that's definitely more risque than like a typical YA book. It's very, very sex positive. It's a little bit more risque situations that happen on Love Boat. So I'm really liking it. It's fun. It's a very, very quick read. I thought I was going to start a new reading vlog. I don't think I am. So my plan for this week is to just sort of not get as many punishment rolls for my 2 TBR games I'm doing, which is Fableland and my own game, because I wound up finishing the Magical Readathon earlier in the month. So I finished up a little bit early. So my goal for this week is to finish this. I'm also going to make progress and probably be done with Lady Isabella's Scandalous Marriage. I have about 2 hours left in that book. So I will touch base tomorrow. I definitely will not finish this tomorrow, especially because I want to read Way of Kings on the train ride home from work. So that is my plan. I'm going to read Way of Kings on the train ride home and read Love Boat on the way to work. And that will just be how it breaks down. I would love to finish Way of Kings next week. We'll see. That's actually for a genre-bending book. I don't know if it really counts, but I'm going to count it anyway. So I am liking that. So I'm going to go watch a longer video, and then I'm going to go watch No Way Home again. I've been really waiting to sit down and watch it and just devour it and pause when needed. So I will check in with you guys tomorrow. Monday is my day that's like exactly like Friday, minus a couple of classes, and I screamed at them all. So I would like to not scream at them tomorrow and not lose my voice. But I really am liking this book. Happy that my friend gave it to me. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye, friends. Flurry hair, I'm back. It's Monday. We did have a good day at work. I do still have a voice, which is great. Today was superhero day. I had a really crazy ensemble, but I did take it off because I worked out. I had a lot of train issues today. Some mornings are quick and easy. You get to the front door, you get home, no major issues. Today was not one of those days. I had train issues in the morning, I had train issues in the evening. But I did get my workout in because I can only really work out fully on Mondays and Thursdays because I don't have drama club, and Fridays I tend to be distracted doing other things. But I was able to work out. Reading wise, I was able to listen to 2 chapters in Percy Jackson, so I'm mostly caught up for that. I have to read another 2 chapters tomorrow and watch the episode or listen to the episode. I have a couple of episodes to listen to tomorrow morning, but I also did finish Lady Isabella's Scandalous Marriage by Laura Ashley, I think that's her name. Very, very fun. Really enjoyable. It was a second chance marriage in trouble romance. I don't know, I really did like Ian's story because I think Ian's just like a really, really unique character. But I also really liked Isabella. I thought that they were both really, really fun. Probably like a solid 4-star read for me. Probably 4.5 stars if I'm being generous. Very, very fun. I also like started reading The Dreamer's Pool by Juliette Mourillier. I'm really liking it. I don't know if I'm gonna stick with that or like do a non. I don't know. I'm still like in the decision, but I had like a short time because between like running around and like waiting for my train, so I started pick that up. I'm intrigued. I listened to like 20 minutes of it, so I don't have enough of an opinion. But I read a couple of more chapters of Love Boat Taipei in the morning. Still enjoying that. And then I got up to page 261 in Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. The last couple of chapters in this did not grab my attention. Like, I think we had a point of view from Dalinar and Adian, which we learned a little bit more about the Radiance, which I think is really interesting. But I am hoping, I don't know if it's going to happen, but I would love to get up to page 300 before the night's over. I don't know if that's doable, but that is my goal. I also started watching No Way Home last night. I also would like to catch up a little bit on Bridgerton and rewatch it. So that's the plans. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I do want to read at least a couple more chapters, and I probably am going to put on Bridgerton in the background because there is chapter breaks in that, and I haven't watched it since it came out, so it's been a bit, so I should probably rewatch that. So I could go, because I regret with Sweet Magnolias that I didn't rewatch, and I think I need to do that with Bridgerton. So I'm gonna go rewatch that, watch a couple of episodes, and at like 8 or 8:30, I'll probably put back on No Way Home because I need like a little more time to catch up on that. But so I'm gonna go read this, watch a little bit of Bridgerton, and I will update you guys if I make the 300-page mark. If not, I will update you guys hopefully before I head to bed. Bye, friends. Here I'm back. It is Wednesday, March 23rd. I didn't wind up updating yesterday because I was really tired when I got home from work. I had drama club, and Tuesdays are always a little bit exhausting just because it's like a longer day. And yeah, but I did want to say that I am making steady progress on Way of Kings. I am on page 421, so I am making my way through it. I also did listen to Brandon Sanderson's chat last night, so I really am excited to keep reading. Like, I think I'm gonna really enjoy this series as I push my way through it. Again, I will say battle scenes are not always my favorite, but some of these characters are not indirect battles, so it is really interesting. And when I'm like wrap it up and when I talk about it in my wrap up, I'll probably give you guys more of my thoughts, but I am really enjoying it. It's just a slower read. I also made a significant amount of progress at this point on Love Boat Taipei by Aligo Hang Wen. That book is a lot of drama. Reminds me of watching Pretty Little Liars, but I do like the setting. I do like the characters. It's really, really fun. I know that Sophia gets her own book. That's the companion book about reunion, which I'm really excited to see how they're going to redeem her because right now I don't like her at all, but I really do like the main character in that story, and I think the dancing elements are really, really fun. There's also an artistic element. I think I know who she's going to wind up with, but we'll see. Definitely has a lot of focus on self-discovery, and I love the new setting stuff as well. It's just really, really fun. So the magical readathon is happening in April. I am gonna go like briefly glance at their prompts and stuff and how I'm gonna do it. I have never really done it. I've always seen it and never really understood it. So this will be my first time really doing it. And I don't know what I'm going to career I'm gonna choose or anything like that, but I'm happy that she's feeling better and is able to do it because I've been looking forward to it. My plan was to read a little bit more of this. My plan was to get my halfway point. I don't know if that's going to happen, but we'll see. And yeah, I will update you guys if I make any concrete decisions. But I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, friends. It's Lori here. I am back. Today was a decent day. Every day in school, always so much happens, and like it just was a fun day. I had to put my bulletin board up. It was compliment day. It's like March Madness at school, so every day is like a different theme. Tomorrow is like New Year's Eve day. Monday's college day, and then we have state testing. So it's just like March is like one of those months. It's just very, very weird. The weather was horrible today. I did listen to like half of Brandon Sanderson's story, like his fourth novella, but I don't really want to listen to like the actual story until I have read a little bit more of the Cosmere. So I literally have 70 pages left in Way of Kings, part one. So really, really close to the end. I don't know if I'm gonna finish it today. I would like to, because I really do want to do like a Regency romance reading vlog this weekend, because I'm gonna watch Bridgerton season 2. So that is my plan. I'm also like significantly into Love Boat Taipei by Abigail Hangwen. That book is very, like, I would say it gears towards new adult. It's not new adult, but it does have some very explicit sexual scenes. Not like explicit, but they are more than I've read in other YA. So I just did want to mention that in like my review if anyone is contemplating giving it to younger kids. It is like appropriate and such, but just know that going. And I am really, really liking it. I definitely do want to read the companion book that follows Sophia, even though she wasn't my favorite character, but she's slowly getting redeemed. So yeah, I am going to continue reading this, and try to watch a little bit more of Bridgerton. I don't think I'm gonna be able to catch up. I'm probably gonna have to go straight into season 2, but I'm okay with that. So I will talk to you guys when I have read a little bit more of this. I'm on page 508, and I have to get up to page like 586. So I don't know. It's possible I could read 80 pages. We'll see. But I'm not going to like rush it because I am enjoying it. I do. I really do like Shallon's character and Kaladin. They're probably my two favorites. And I will talk more about this in my wrap. I will definitely finish it before the end of the month, which kind of threw my TBR off a little bit, but that's okay. This is still a massive book. So I'm going to go read, watch a little bit of Bridgerton, I think, and I will update you guys when I can. Bye, friends. I'm going to do a really quick update. It is about 7:25. I have about 50 pages left in this part of it. I still have a whole nother volume, but I am liking it. I normally don't like battle stuff, but the way that this story does battles is really interesting. Like, it's just an interesting concept. There's also a lot of point of view characters, and also, like, I don't know, like, how, I mean, the Cosmere is very, very big, but there is, like, these things called interludes where you see, like, these random characters, and in one of the live streams I recently watched, you, like, never see these characters again, but just, like, expand the world, which is really interesting. But yeah, my goal is to finish this tonight. I really would love to. I only have about 50 pages left. I'm on episode 4 of Bridgerton, on my rewatch. I don't know if I'm able to finish it by tomorrow. That's the goal, to like finish it by tomorrow so I could watch it this weekend and not get utterly spoiled. I pretty much won't get spoiled because I'm just not going to go on Twitter, which is how I get spoiled on everything. So I'm going to go read this, and I would hopefully love to finish it tonight. If not, I will bring it to work tomorrow and finish it on the commute in the morning, but my goal is to finish it. So I'm going to go do that, and when I'm come back here, we'll wrap up my thoughts on this either tonight or tomorrow. Bye, friends. I'm back. I'm here to wrap up this reading vlog because late last night, right before I headed to bed, I was able to finish part 1 of The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. I think as this story went on, I think I grew to like it a little bit more. I think we do get a lot of point of view characters, and I feel like once I finish this book, which will be volume 2, I think I will have seen the complete story. I did enjoy it. I would end up giving this one like 4 stars. I'm curious to see like if the second half of the volume will like change my opinion. But right now this volume is a 4-star read. Also this morning I was able to finish Love Boat Taipei by Abigail Hangwen. That book is somewhere. It's in my bag. I just didn't grab it. I like that as well. I gave that 4 stars. I'm actually really happy that I picked it up as like an audiobook because I was able to get through it a little bit quicker, and it let me devote my time to this as well, which is actually pretty good. And it actually books off my physical TBR, so that's always a good start. So I'm gonna go start another really, really fun reading vlog. And I will talk to you guys then. Bye, friends.